Going on, guys? I am a functioning addict, and it's starting to, well, not starting to, it's getting very out of control. Um, I'm in my early 40s, and on my 40th birthday, I tried cocaine for the very first time, and it has now become somewhat of a major problem and disaster in my life. I I'm afraid to reveal my true identity making these videos as uh, honestly mostly it's because I don't want to be judged. Um, I'm not really sure exactly how to handle this. Um, I thought I had it under control. It became a big problem as time went on. Initially, when I first did it on my 40th birthday, it didn't seem like that big of a deal, but it has since kind of taken over many aspects of my life. Um, I never wanted to do any kind of, hardcore drugs. Growing up, I didn't drink alcohol. I didn't smoke marijuana. Uh, my family had history of abuse with that. Um, Father was an alcoholic. Brothers, which they were pretty fucked up their whole lives. So I always stayed away from it. And um, I was I had enough issues going on where I didn't need to add drugs and alcohol to the mix. But in my late 20s, I drank a little bit here and there. Um, Going into my 30s, I tried marijuana and no issues with that. I would do it from time to time, never excessive, but I always vowed to myself that I would never do anything else like cocaine or any of those other hardcore drugs. And I know for some of you, maybe you're watching this right now and you think, just quit, stop doing it, or you know, it's not that big of a deal or whatever. Or maybe you think this video is completely fake because I'm not showing my identity. But I can't. Partly what I do is a career, so I can't put out my identity, at least not now. I may in the future, depending on, what happens and what I decide to do with this. But I know that I need some help. And um, initially, when I first did it, I didn't really want to do it. One of the guys that offered it to me, he had offered it to me prior, and he gave me a little bag at a poker game, a house poker game, like at home. And when he left, I actually threw it away. And for some reason, I was upset. I was like, why is he giving me this? Like, I should have said something to him. I should have told him. But I didn't think I had an addictive personality. Um, Maybe subconsciously I knew that I did. That's why maybe I never did it. But on my 40th birthday, at a poker game, same guy was there again, and uh, he wasn't. I wouldn't say he was pushing it, but he was like, just man, come on, it's your birthday. You've never done it. Try it. Blah blah blah. All this stuff, and I was like, something, whatever. I was like, fuck it. So I did. I don't remember if it was a bump with a straw or bump off of a key, but I immediately felt like, the euphoric, the like, wow, this feels great, talkie talkie, talkie talkie. But it didn't take hold of me at that point. Like I thought, like, oh, this would be fun to do from time to time, especially when you're drinking alcohol. Do a little bump or whatever, and it kind of like, brings you back to more of a sober state, or at least you think. And, you know, alcohol was never my thing. I was always a very like weak drinker. It wouldn't take much to get me buzzed. So whenever we'd go out, couldn't really drink too much because I was afraid of, DUIs and getting in an accident and killing somebody, killing myself, whatever. And, slowly I'd start introducing the powder to my outings, and it would get to a point where I would use it as an excuse, like, oh, it's just when I go out and drink because it brings me back to normal. And it was fine at first. It wasn't a big deal. My girlfriend would do it with me a little bit from time to time. She had done it in her past, and while we were together, she never really did it because I didn't do it. So she would do it with me from time to time, and then we moved back to Florida from Washington State, and I don't know if it was just more available or if just a lot of my friends that used to do it, I just didn't really notice it because it wasn't my thing. But it was just, I don't know. All of a sudden, I caught myself like anytime I go out, I would want to do it. If I was tired, I would want to do it. And I never did it by myself. I would always do it with like friends or whatever. And, I'd buy like an 8 ball and wouldn't want to come home. Started staying out late, and it slowly started creating like a little bit of problems. And at this point, my girlfriend was still like kind of like still doing it with me from time to time. But then the regrets the next day, we you know wouldn't get good sleep. We would be hungover and tired, and you're starving now because I don't know about you guys or whoever, but when I do it, I'm not hungry at all. But then as soon as it completely wears off, it's like I want to eat everything in sight, and weren't exercising. It just started to become a problem. We were going out to places that were, because you want to keep going. So we'd stay out till like 5 a.m., go to these 5 a.m. bars. And it got to the point where I'm now hanging out with people that I wouldn't have hung out with in the past. Nothing against these people. It was just people that I wouldn't have crossed paths with. Um, and funny enough, I actually, I went to prison, not for that. I went to prison for some white collar stuff. And um, even when I went through all of that, the whole prison experience, which sucked, you know, uh, prison was kind of good for me, honestly, because it kind of taught me like you do stupid shit, dumb shit happens to you, and you got to pay the price, So I got 42 months in a federal prison, and even then I had a clear head, and I knew that I fucked up, and I had to go do my time, and it was actually not a bad experience. I got healthy, got in shape, and cleared my mind. Came home, things were going fantastic, and started a business, and it was starting to thrive, and it was going really, really good. And my girlfriend at the time, well, to this day still, she went to prison with me as well. Um, we both worked for the same place, and we caught an indictment. And I was office manager. She was a receptionist. I don't want to say of what because I don't want to, bring too much light to that. But um, even with all of that, I still knew I I had control over my life. Um, there wasn't anything that I would think about that would take control. Once I got past my stupidness, I was fine, and we were kicking ass. We were big into cryptocurrency and saving tons of money. Had about $100,000 in cryptocurrency off of less than a $2,000 investment over the course of several years. And I remember anytime things were tough, I never would touch the crypto. I would be like, no, that's going to be, that's set for the future, set for the future. I wouldn't even, you know, when it came, I have two daughters, and sometimes it was like tough, and they needed things, and I would find other ways to get it, legal ways to get it without touching the crypto. Never touch the crypto until fucking cocaine, fucked my life up sideways, man. And it it really did catch me off guard to the point where um, I was in such denial and didn't. I kept thinking, oh, I can control this. I can control this. I don't need it. I just like it. And uh, and it started causing problems in my relationship. And my girlfriend started like, we got to stop this. So she stopped, and when she stopped, she was like, you got to stop too. And I didn't understand. I was like, well, I don't want to stop yet, and it's not bad. I'm able to control this. And then of course she wasn't doing it, so the nights would end. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we were done, tired, and I would still want to go because I was not telling her. I would kind of go to the bathroom and sneak it here and there. And I think maybe she had an idea, but she was just like not sure how to handle it because it's not something that I've ever done before. I was always the kind of guy that was like, oh, have a couple drinks and go home and watch a movie, or go outside and go for a walk, ride a bike. I was never into the clubs or the bar scene. Alcohol wasn't my thing. Um, but all of a sudden, I became this different person that just didn't want to come home. So then I started staying out, making excuses, telling I was going places, and just lying and being a really, really just not a bad boyfriend, but a bad person and a bad boyfriend, just bad all around. And then it would get to the point where we'd fight about it, and then I wouldn't even come home because I knew she was going to be so pissed that I would just stay out, get a hotel, and 5 a.m. bars and hanging out with people I don't even know. And I remember one night I was at this random house. I don't even know whose house it was, and sitting there, and there's just all this chaos, and I'm looking around, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm probably the oldest person here, and I'm in like, it looked kind of like, I don't really know what a trap house looks like. I've never been in no one's ever said, let's go to the trap house, but this house was just in disarray, and everybody was just talking at the same time. And I remember this very, very young girl was sitting on the couch across from me, and everybody else was talking, and she caught my gaze, and I remember she looked at me, and she was only, I think she was like 18 or 19 years old, and she looked me dead in the eyes, and she said, we're all addicts. And I was thinking to myself, like, speak for your fucking self. I'm not an addict in my mind. But then it registered. I was like, fuck, look where I am right now, around people I don't know. Nothing good is coming from this. And I remember it was a very, very uncomfortable feeling. And I didn't stop because this was, clear that I didn't stop. I wouldn't be here fucking making videos about it right now. But it was definitely a realization at that moment that something had control over me. And I wished I'd never done it because uh, it's I started using cryptocurrency to pay for it because I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want anybody to see me taking money out of the bank. So I would transfer money to a separate account out of crypto, and hotels, drugs, alcohol, all these pretend new friends I had because I would always buy it. I was going through like, so at first like an 8 ball a week, then a couple 8 balls a week, and then it would get to the point where sometimes a couple of 8 balls a night. Uh, it gets very expensive, here in Florida, an average 8 balls, average cost, we'll call it 220 to 250. And you do that a couple times a night sometimes, and you do that a couple times a week. You add $1,000 real easy. Um, I'm self-employed. I have my own business, and it took a major hit because of this, because of my lack of activity after the fact, the come down. You're tired, you're exhausted, lay in bed, hungover, and just, and then you feel great for a couple of days, and you're like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I would go like a week or two and not do it after like one of those crazy binges. Um, and then my girlfriend finally had enough of it because I kept doing this. So she moved out. Um, and she was still working with me, helped me with the business. And uh, I was paying my rent where I was living, which is pretty expensive, and then I was paying her rent where she was living. because she was working for me, so it was like wasn't like I was just giving her money, but it was partially her pay and partially I'd pay the rent for the other portion of it. Paying two places, um, trying to act like I have everything together still, and not letting other people know. I started losing friends because I didn't want to go around them. I didn't want them to see me like this, so I just stopped kind of taking their calls. Had a lot of fake friends that just wanted to hang out because they knew that I would have it. Um, and then, uh, and then I did stop for a little bit. I felt like I started getting control back. Um, and I moved back out of my place. My lease came up, so I ended my lease. And me and my girlfriend got back together. We're together right now. And when we would go out, sometimes I felt like I really wanted it, and but I didn't want her to know about it at all. So I would, go buy it and try to just do a little bit here and there just to help with the alcohol and, you know, get me in I don't know, an excited mood or whatever. And now it's gotten to a point where I'm doing it almost every single day. I'm not sleeping. Um, I feel like shit. Uh, it's doesn't make me feel good about myself at all. And and I'm still running a business, and I don't really know how to stop. I know go get help and go to meetings and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit about it. I'm nervous, and I'm afraid if I don't get this under control and put it behind me. I'm on it right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like right now, you know, I probably wouldn't have done this video if I wasn't. But I don't know. I don't know what I expect from this, but I think that I want to keep posting about what I'm going through, and maybe somebody out there has something to share or some words. But yeah, fucking sucks. Anybody that tells you addiction's not real and it's easy to quit, um, not for everybody. So if you're able to get help, if you're able to tell somebody, I would say tell somebody. Uh, I'm so embarrassed and ashamed because I don't know. It's not where I thought I'd be after everything I've been through and made my comeback, and now here I am, kind of fucking it up. So yeah, I am the functioning addict. So um, thanks for watching this video, I guess. Hope you all have a great night, great morning, and yeah, that's it. Take care.